See? Episodes like this are why I love this series. Was this really that hard? Hello, I'm Mediocrity4, and this is my review for RWBY Volume 4, Episode 9, 2 Steps Forward, 2 Steps Back. If you haven't seen the episode yet, you may want to before watching this review. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the minds behind South Park, once brilliantly articulated their guide to organic storytelling. A trap writers fall into is that their plots consist of this happening, and then that happens. But a good story, or at least one that I would describe as organic, have plots of this happened, therefore this happened, but this happened, and because it happened, this happened, and so on until the end. I bring this up because RWBY has a problem with its storytelling. Things just happen, and the characters just sit around waiting for the plot to happen around them, which wouldn't be so bad if there weren't so many superfluous characters. This newest episode proves my point because, simply put, this episode proved that Miles and Carrie do know how to write. They just neglect to write well. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back made last episode all the more inexcusable. First off, this is the first episode of the volume to feature all 4 girls. Yet, more happens in each individual scene than the entirety of last episode. Let's start with Blake, since her plot has been the most problematic, it's the most direct continuation from last episode, and it's the weak link in this episode. The inciting incident is Adam playing a hand in Beacon's destruction. Therefore, Blake runs to her family, but Sun tags along, so it's a buddy journey. But Blake is an impulsive twat, so she ended up revealing her presence to the White Fang anyway. Therefore, they sent a spy, and because Blake is Blake, she threw Sun's scroll, found the spy, chased her, and now Sun is hurt. This moment could have been avoided if Blake wasn't so insufferably dumb. And I'm convinced she was written this way with a purpose. Blake is the one that needs to learn the lesson. Her arrogance got Sun hurt, just like her past got Yang hurt. The scene falls apart in the animation. Ilya creates a smokescreen, then just stands there like a knob. Sun gets exhausted from one headbutt and one use of his semblance. The rooftop changes size determined by what the script needs. Blake's sword appears and disappears and reappears all willy-nilly. There's more continuity issues than you can shake a sock at. And even on a conceptual level, the fight is extremely dull and poorly choreographed. Which is an absolute shame, because the other fight in this episode was pretty solid, Snake. Yang's inciting incident would be the loss of her arm and school. Therefore, she is in no position to help RWBY. Therefore, Tai couldn't go after RWBY, but Yang now has a robot arm. Therefore, she feels more guilt. So, now she's training. The training scene is pretty solid all around. I wish it would have taken up more of the episode. It's a scene of genuine emotion and confidence that hasn't been shown in the show since Volume 2. The choreography is great, the sound design is good enough, and the shot composition, so long as they're in motion, is excellent. It does get pretty dull and flat when they're just talking, but this isn't Disney, it's not even DreamWorks, it's Rooster Teeth. It's also great hearing Ty's perspective on Raven, like, he has fond memories of her, but she's, well, you know. Again, this is just such a good scene from its lighting, the voice acting is why being adorable, everything just fits so well, then they have to cut to Weiss. Weiss has the least amount of stuff in this episode. Inciting incident is Beacon being destroyed, so her father collected her. Therefore, she's practically imprisoned. Therefore, she feels powerless. Therefore, she acts out. Therefore, she gets her inheritance taken away. Therefore, she has nothing keeping her at the house except force and is making her escape. Probably. Klein has a part to play, apparently, and the Armored Knight from the White trailer makes its full re-debut. Most of the scene is spent with Whitley being an idiot. He chastises Weiss for wanting to make a difference and says that huntsmen are pointless compared to an army. Yeah, people that watch the podcast, armies are made up of a bunch of one peoples. But hey, Whitley, tell me again how Atlas military got hijacked and annihilated by a bunch of students. In all seriousness, things that I find obvious that the average viewer thinks are some big mystery. Weiss asks Whitley if he's jealous, and Whitley says no. What does this mean? Does he not have an aura? Does Weiss and Winter have a different dad? Does Whitley not have access to his semblance? No, he's just never bothered to learn how to fight. He thought it was beneath him. He wanted to be a businessman like his father, so that's his goal. Then we catch up with Ranger and Crow's tripping balls. They're at a fork in the road and they take it. Most of this is just set up for next episode, which we're probably not getting until next week. I like the symbolism, as obvious as it is, that they're at the crossroad and about to make an extremely important decision. I also love the reactions to the towns. I've hypothesized before that being in Mistral is bringing out the worst in Rin. I believe Kudoyuti is where he is from and where his parents died. This is still speculation, but I'm sure that Rin's family lived in Kudoyuti and would have worked on building Oniyuri. Oniyuri got attacked and Kudoyuti was just the next town over. And yes, I really think that symbol is a Grimm footprint and that it's the Grimm responsible for Rin's situation. And this whole coming sequence basically writes itself. So those are my thoughts on the newest episode. The rooftop fight keeps it from the highest heights in the series, but it's still in the top 10 RWBY episodes. I'm Mediocrity4. Thanks for watching.